Today we're going to be working in the woods once again on our full shade garden. This is part 2 of our shade gardening series. I'm going to be planting easy perennials for a low maintenance landscape. Last week we cut out huge island flower beds in our woods, so now I am so excited to get some plants in the ground. Little backstory on this area. Last summer, my husband cut out the woods edge garden beds as well as cleared the front corner of the woods. And this really opened up the area. Keep in mind, we have about 5 acres of woods on this property, and this is just one tiny portion. We have so many areas on our property that are untouched. So I am so excited to get started on these woods. I am so excited about the plant haul I got today when I went on my trip to the garden center. I was specifically looking for hostas and ferns, different varieties that I already had. So I think I got some good buys. I'm really excited to get all of these planted so they can get rooted down and really start to grow and develop in these wooded areas. So let's go through. I'll tell you which ones I got. This is the Shadow and Diamond Lake by Proven Winners. Very excited to see how this one grows. This is a June hosta. All of these are full shade plants. I think most of them say like 1 to 3 hours of morning sun only. So I'm got a good spot for them for sure. I am very excited about this hosta. It is a sum in substance hosta. I have seen videos of these hostas and they get huge. I'm very fired up about that. This is a guacamole. I really liked the coloring on this. It was like a darker variegation, and I really liked that. This is a painted Japanese fern. Now, I saw this at the garden tour last week in someone's yard, and it was absolutely beautiful. I lucked out and found several of them at Lowe's. This is a king ostrich fern. I could only find one of them at Lowe's, so I'm definitely on the hunt for these because these get so big and they're just beautiful. And this is one that I never knew about, but it's a brilliant autumn fern, and it has a little tint of orange on it, so I am very excited to see how this turns out. It's the fullest one of all the ferns that I got, so I'm very excited to see how these grow and develop. Now I just kind of have to figure out where all of these plants are going to go. I have 2 different islands here that I'm going to try to fill up as much as possible. I do need to move a few plants around. These hostas in particular look very small, and I'm not going to leave them back here. Now, many of these hostas were here when I moved in, so I don't know what each and every one are, especially the ones that were already here. The ones that I'm bringing in, they obviously have names on them, so I can keep track of those a little bit better. But the ones that are already here, some of them have just such slight variations that I can't really tell the difference. I'm going to go ahead and lay all these out, try to find a good place for them, and then I'm going to start digging them in. What's up?
I'm gonna take a break for a minute.
All right. I'm going to the office at 2:30 to water her plants, and I will. I have two Alanis. I have Lonnies there for us.
Nice. I didn't get any hostas from my mom's.
It's not really a good time to get them.
They're not very big either. Yeah, I couldn't even like get to them. So then I trimmed the tree up for her though. At least we can see them now. She sprayed one for like weed killer too, so it doesn't look the best. Her two big ones got sprayed with that, and then Diamond has been laying on it.
I went to Watson's and I had a $25 gift card from the garden walk from last week, and I had $5 off, and then I had that dollar. I got Fern and a hosta for $11.
Nice.
Yeah, I was pretty happy. And then I went to stop by Lowe's because you never know when they're gonna load up that clearance, and I checked and I got two of those sweet potato vines like you like. Hey, where's the black shovel? Tell me if it is. It's hanging up. I honestly do not know why I was using that tiny shovel. Well, I know why, because all of the tools we were using last week were down here, but I could not find this, and I thought, oh, we must have taken it somewhere else. But no, it was hanging in the shed where it should have been hanging. And now that I think about it, I wasn't burying any plants last weekend, so we weren't using the shovel. So I was just breaking my back for no reason. That tiny shovel, back here, there's a lot of big roots, and you have to kind of like get all your weight on this bigger shovel and push down to break through those roots so that you can get a clean hole. So that little shovel was just not going to work for me. Because this area has so many trees, it is very difficult to dig in here, especially a hole large enough to get these plants buried in deep. I've always found that the deeper you plant them, the better they are for them, especially with these hostas, because you want, at least in my opinion, I want the dirt to be surrounding it so they can come up through the dirt. Sometimes before I've planted them a little bit more shallow and there's big gaps in the dirt and you can kind of see the roots, and they don't grow as big when they do that, it seems. So it's really hard because there's so many roots and I have to really dig it out. But in the end, I could really get down in these areas. If I got to an area where I found a lot of roots, I would move a little bit around until I found an area that was clear of any of the larger roots, because I don't really want to cut off the large root systems of these trees. It's just the smaller little ones that my body weight can cut through that I'm trying to get rid of. We have a few years before these plants grow into maturity and we really see the end result of what they're going to look like. I'm hopeful that they're all going to fill the space. Now, these are those plants that I moved from the middle. I think they're going to be smaller. And there's 2 ferns. There's a large plant. That's the Diamond in Lake Proven Winners plant. I tried to plant 3 larger hostas in some more open areas just to kind of see if they'll grow and fill in. This was from that smaller area too. It's just going to be a smaller hosta, so I think there will be plenty of room for it to grow right here. It's just, I'm so excited, guys. I just can't wait to see. Hostas grow amazing in our area, and we have so much shade. I'm just so excited to see how they grow. One thing I love about hostas are they are a low maintenance perennial. I don't have to water them. I don't have to do anything to them. They don't need a lot of sun. They just kind of, you plant them and they do their own thing. At least that's been how it is for my case. There is a delicate fern in this corner that is like a ground cover, and I'm hopeful it'll go around this tree. As I got over to this area, I realized there was 2 plants I didn't plant. So let me go ahead and get those in the ground. This is that Sum and Substance hosta. I saw this on a hosta garden tour on YouTube last night, and I tell you what, I am so excited to see this grow and flourish. It's a perfect color for back here. I don't like planting a lot of dark greens just simply because they blend in with the remainder of the woods. As you can see with this plant right here to the left of me, it just kind of blends in. You would think it's just part of the brush of the woods, but it's not. It's a hosta. Whereas with this bright green hosta, it will just shine in this area because it is so light compared to the dark foliage of the woods. This is another one of those smaller hostas. It's been planted around here for a few years, so I'm pretty confident it's going to be small. Maybe I'll move it to a new area and it'll grow larger. But this is one of those ones, again, like it was here before I moved in. I didn't have a tag with it, so I have no clue what type it is. I probably could do a Google image search to kind of figure it out. Maybe next year that'll be easier because they've all been kind of chopped and deer have ate on some of them. So maybe next year I'll take some time and go around and try to figure out all the names of these. Maybe I can do it this year. I don't know. We'll see. I am so excited to see how this area grows and develops over time. Now that everything is planted, we are ready for ground cover and mulch, which will be in part 3 of our shade gardening series. If you enjoy DIY landscape and working in the garden, make sure to subscribe. And if you liked this video, please show it some love in the comments below. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.